Hey guys, what's going on? Derek back again with another Pod HD500 video. Going through the amp models here, and today we've got the Gibtone 185 amp model. This is the Gibson EH-185. Pretty classic, old little suitcase looking amp. Gibson's not really known for their amps, but this one's obviously made some sort of impact in the music world because we've got a model of it in the Pod HD500. Same setup as always, 2x12 PhD ported cab with the 57 on axis. The room is set to 0. Master on 100 set, and everything else at 50 except for the hum, which is all the way down. Low cut is actually on nothing. I'm not doing anything with that. Res level, thump, decay. All the same settings as usual. Remember, you can download this patch if you like it on the in the info box. I will have a link to my custom tone account, and you can download these and tweak them to match your guitar. And yeah, let's hear how this thing sounds. Let's get right into it. It's a pretty simple amp, so it's gonna be a pretty simple review. So I'm using for guitar a Variax 300, a Line 6 Variax 300, using the VDI connector into the pod. The pod running into my mixing desk with EQ set flat on the mixing desk, direct to your ears. So let's hear how that sounds. This is the Gibson EH-185. Okay, decent sounding amp model, has potential, definitely has potential, so let's see if we can't unlock that, shall we? Alright, so the drive is at 30%, and the bass is nearly off. I have it at 5, you might as well turn it off, but I'm not going to. So let's hear how this thing sounds with the amp on 50, the drive on 50. Turn that presence down to about 80. Alright, let's hear the amp at 70. And the amp on 100. Alright, this is kind of in the same boat as the Supro amp. I'll put it back at 30. I might turn it down even less than that. Maybe 26. Turn that presence back up. But anyway, what I was saying earlier, this is along the lines of the Supro, in that it's a small amp, but you can use it to get big tones in a studio. And the sound might be fairly anemic now, but believe me, in a band situation, it would fit in a mix very nicely. And so it's pretty cool. Let's hear some more of it. And turn that gain down just a little bit. I want to hear how this thing sounds clean. So maybe at about 20. That's pretty cool. I'm going to turn the bass up, see if we can't get a little fuller. Yeah, that one's pretty nice. So, alright, with the gain right about there, kind of on the edge of breaking up, let's hear how the different pickups sound on the Strat, and then listen to the Tele and the Les Paul models. Now remember, on my Variax, I did a factory reset, so this is just a standard Strat, standard Tele, and a standard Les Paul sound. This is not meant to, my Strat sounds better than your Strat. This is not one of those videos. This is just simply, this is kind of how a Strat would sound to this. This is kind of how a Les Paul would sound, kind of a Tele would sound, you know, something along those lines. So, let's hear how it sounds with a Strat with the different pickup selections. Turn that reverb down just a little bit before I keep going any further. It's up just a little much. Much better. You can hear the amp a lot more now. Now that bass needs to come down. Alright, now with the Tele on the neck position. In the bridge. Bridge. Les Paul bridge. Naked bridge. Neck. Guitar always comes unplugged. Alrighty, so that's all the different guitar models, or at least the Strat, Tele, and Les Paul. Let's play with this thing, see if we can't make it sound any cooler than it already is. I'm okay with the tone controls. I might turn that drive down just a little bit more. There we go. Alright, so the master volume again. This is the power amp distortion, not preamp. It's not a volume control. I mean, I guess you can use it as one, but it is meant to emit the sound of a cranked tube amp, the power tube saturation. So let's hear it at 50. I imagine it's going to be pretty anemic sounding. Let me play something a little different. Alright. Now let's hear it on 70%. Alright. Let's hear it on 100%. As you'll notice, as we start cranking it up, the amp gets more and more saturated. So I kind of like it right about there. The Sag Control. Towards the left, you're going to get a more modern type sound. Towards the right, going to get a more vintage type sound. So let's hear it at straight up 12 o'clock. Let's hear that at 0. All right, now let's hear it on 100%. Believe it or not, I actually like the sag up a little bit on this one. Let's hear it at 80. Pretty cool, pretty cool, pretty cool. The hum feature, for those who want to hear it. There you go. The bias. Let's hear what it does at 50%. Here's the bias at 0%. Oh, I lied to you. Now here it is at 0%. Pretty nice, pretty nice. Here it is at 100%. I kind of like that one more towards the high end of the spectrum too. Let's hear it sounds at about 70. That's pretty nice. Here's the bias excursion at 50%. Here it is at 0. Pretty cool. Now let's hear it at 100%. I kind of like it at 100. I'm going to leave it there. Let's look at the cab parameters, the low cut. On these smaller amps, they can't handle as much low end as like a Marshall half stack. So if you got a guitar with a lot of low end, like this Les Paul neck humbucker has a lot of low end in it, you can kind of tighten up that low end a little bit with this low cut. And this is pretty bassy sounding amp, so I imagine this low cut probably would come in handy. So here's the Les Paul neck pickup on the Gibson 185. Gotta plug the guitar in. What is it? Gotta turn the volume up. Had a blonde moment. Sorry. So that's with the low cut off, where it's not really affecting the sound. Let's turn the low cut up to about 130. Now, obviously, it sounds kind of wimpy as I have it now because I have it tweaked without the low cut engaged. But if you were to try to tweak around that, I imagine you can get that sound pretty good. The resonance level, this kind of makes, to me, sounds like it makes your amp sound like it's in an isolation cabinet or in a room with plexiglass. I don't know if that's the intent, but to me, that's what I'm hearing. So here it is at 50%. Here it is at 0%. Here it is at 100%. Hold your ears. That's extremely, extremely loud and piercing. So I don't like that. But I do kind of like this resonance level being a little towards the low end. So let's hear how that sounds. It kind of smooths out the sound of the amp. Alright, the thump control. I have it up all the way. Let's hear it at 50%. This is the stock setting. So this is what the normal Dr. Z cabinet sounds like. Here it is all the way down. And here's my favorite setting, all the way up. You don't hear a huge difference on this amp for whatever reason. Might be because I have the bass down so low. Anyway, so now the level's kind of gone away since I turned the resonance level down. So what you can do on the controller menu, and this is just a little tidbit, a little extra lesson. If you go on the controller menu, select the amp model and the channel volume parameter, assign it to expression pedal 1, and set your maximum level to whatever the amp needs to be set on to get the volume you need, and set the minimum to 0, and you have a volume pedal without even having to use a volume pedal. So that's the volume pedal full up. If I turn it down, I have my volume pedal, and for free. I don't have to use any DSP to do that. I'm just going to turn that bass down just a little bit more. And last but not least, or actually is least, because I hear the least amount of difference in this one, the Decay. I'm not going to demo the Decay because I can't really hear the impact that's having on the tone. I'm sure it does have an impact, but I'm having trouble hearing it, so I'm not really going to waste any time on it. So let's skip straight to the distortions and what kind of stomp box options you have. Here's the boost comp with it, which kind of works to boost the amp and give you like a second channel type sound. So here's what that sounds like. Let's compare that to the original sound. It's not boosting it enough for me, so we could turn the output up, and it kind of drives the amp a little bit more. That's pretty good. Let's hear the tube screamer with it. Tube screamer always sounds pretty good. Let's hear how it sounds to this amp. Alright, so let's hear the tube drive. Hear how that sounds. The Chandler tube driver. Alright, now the classic distortion. Turn that drive way, way down. Turn the filter up. Pretty cool sounding overdrive. This is one of those amps that, again, you can tweak it and add some effects to it, and it'll sound huge. It's a small amp that was used back in the day in the studio to help get a really nice fat sound without having to crank up a big old amp and sacrifice everyone's hearing. So, you got to give it to them. They tried, and they did a pretty cool thing. So, if you like this patch, I'm going to upload it to Custom-Tone, and you can download it and tweak it to match your guitar. And so anyway, that's it. Not really much you can say about it. It's a simple amp, so it's a simple review. So I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them below, and I'll be happy to get with you. This has been Derek Kegwood, and about the Pod HD500. This has been the Gibson EH-185 amp model. And like I said, hope you enjoy it. Thanks for watching, and God bless.